Welcome to Talk to Me. My guest today is Sam, the branding coach. We're talking about crafting your unique brand with Sam's guidance. Today's show is sponsored by the group coaching portal, the Soulutionist portal. Join today at www.brendathesolutionist.com. It is the gateway for small businesses and entrepreneurs for your knowledge, success, collaboration, and connection. No contracts. Come in and join the community. Hi, I'm Brenda, the Soulutionist. I'm the host of Talk to Me, and my new season starts today. And I'm excited because I have a very special guest who's going to be talking about all things branding. Is your business really giving out the message you wanted to give out? Do you need a little help? Well, I have the guest for you, and I'm going to bring her up in the stream. Sam, where are you? Let me see if I can get her in here. Hey, Sam, how are you?
Hello. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing really, really well. I forgot before I brought you on to tell everybody how you have 7 years of marketing and growth branding experience, and how you help small business owners get their dream clients through branding and marketing, and that you have a passion for crafting unique marketing and branding strategies that elevate businesses that resonate with audiences. I know that you work with creating an impactful branding strategies that stand out on social media, and you're celebrating every step of a business growth journey with the people that you coach. So tell us, Sam, what made you want to become a branding coach in the first place?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, when I feel like, everyone always understands like somewhat what kind of a person you're wanting to be. You develop skills, you go through things. And so I always was on the track of like unofficially coaching people, like being like, no, we should do it this way, like creatively always thinking that we should be outside the box with things. So it's been in like nonprofit organizations, venture capitalists, and wealth management firms, and small marketing agencies that I've worked with. And I think the real inspiration really came from when I was working at a venture capitalist firm, when I got to see startups and founders and talk to them and have real conversations. And one thing I always found that was interesting, because after I worked with them, I pivoted to wealth management, which was also a startup. And whenever I kind of asked, like, what was like your purpose? Like, why'd you start this? They always kind of didn't really know what to tell me.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, what's your, like everything is about in a startup getting that money, getting that seed funding, always just expanding to the next level. But you're kind of missing that story, that spark of like what it is. And like, at least that's in my experience of seeing some founders, not all founders, of course, but when I then moved to that wealth management firm, um, it, me and the founder just butted heads, because I was like, we need to figure out what exactly you do and why you're helping people, and your website, your messaging, none of that really tells anybody why we're here. And after really like diving into that with him, it gave a lot more exposure to the fact that this is something that people need help with. This is something that people need to understand. People need to learn how to tell their story and how to create it on social media and through websites and throughout alternate platforms other than just speaking to people. So ultimately, I was inspired by all the experiences that I've had in the past.
What do you say has been your biggest challenge as a branding coach when working with businesses?
Biggest challenge, I think, is almost looking at the investment in marketing and branding itself, because I feel like, especially we see, right, when layoffs happen in big corporations, who are the first to go? Like creatives, HR, anyone kind of like at the quote unquote lower, like lower at the bottom totem pole, like like the
Mhm.
lowest level. And creatives and marketing should really be the thing that you put a lot of money into. And I think talking them through them, coaching them, and working with through like, this is something that's worth the investment, because long term we want a broader range to see you. Because if we stay in this box of not being able to afford this and not willing to invest, how else are people going to see you? Because you can go door to door, you can do all that locally, and that's fine. But if you want to grow on like a larger scale, and if you want to actually bring in some income from alternate sources, then we got to put you out there, and we got to invest and put in that time. So it just kind of takes, I think, sometimes really coercing, really working with them, coaching, talking them through of like why it's worth the investment.
Who do you feel is the ideal person to work with you as a branding coach?
An ideal person, I think really anyone who doesn't feel like they're hitting the mark when it comes to getting the right clients. Like even when I started, my company, when I was first posting and realizing who I wanted to reach, I was mostly getting people in my field, people who were branding coaches, brand development, brand messaging, marketing agencies. And I was like, cool, like this is great networking, but this isn't where I want to draw in. So what am I doing wrong? And so then I really had to fix the niche and fix who I was looking at and the people I was working with. So ideally, I work with people who want to grow on social media to a certain extent and really develop that presence. And like our favorite person, Jen Gottlieb says, be seen, like have them be seen. Because ultimately, like I'm wearing today, like the book behind you, like
not be seen.
like we want to have brands and companies be seen ultimately. So anyone really struggling with who like reaching their target audience, getting clients, like figuring out a strategy on how to post on social media and what platform might be necessary for them, those are people I ideally work with.
Today we said we were going to focus on three main points here, which was brand awareness and development, content creation and social media, and your offer statement clarity. Let's start with the brand awareness and development. What exactly does that mean for someone when they come for you for coaching?
Yeah, no. So it was funny. I was doing a live yesterday with my friend Whitney, and we were talking about the difference between branding and marketing. And an example that I told her for people to kind of understand brand awareness, right, is think about it when you're redoing your home or redoing your office, anything that has a personal touch by you, right? You're designing that, you're crafting that, you're adding personal elements. And so that, in a sense, is a brand because you're displaying things for a purpose. Because you want it to look a certain way, feel a certain way, resonate with people. And then marketing is bringing people in, showing them all of the cool things that you've done, like having that housewarming party, being like, look at my new place, look at my new office, like come see what I've done and created for myself. So that's kind of an example, real life example to kind of look at branding and marketing. And so when we think about brand awareness and development, it's really understanding your message and who you are as a business owner, and then what your company does and who you're serving. Because if we don't know those things, if we don't know what your mission is, your values are, and who it is you're serving, then we're not connecting on the right level. And when I was at a conference a couple weeks ago, I was listening to Robert Herjavec, who's a shark on Shark Tank, and he was talking about a brand is required to evoke an emotion. So whether that be through your logo, through your business name, through the colors, through any of the content that you're posting, we're thinking about neutral tones, right? Neutral tones often bring a calm. Big, bright, vibrant colors often bring energy. Like anything that we're thinking of brings an emotion. And so brand awareness and development is really just thinking and taking that time to be like, who am I as a business owner? What is my business? Who do I serve? How do I find my target audience? And who am I hoping to find? And then do I want to emulate that on my website and through social media by having certain tones? Like even when we look at like with your podcast, right? Like talk to me. You have pink, you have white, you have creative colors because you yourself are a very vibrant person. And when we think about that growing, we want to develop that brand awareness throughout businesses so that it's cohesive, so that we like invite more people to come to talk to us. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I will tell you, I had some challenges when I picked my colors because I didn't understand branding when I did it. So when I picked my black, my pink, my white, my gold, they all made sense to me. But I had a lot of people try to change me and tell me I can't use those colors for various reasons. And I understand through professional branding, stuff like that. But what do you say to someone like me that is resistant to changing their color patterns that may come to want to work with you? How would you work with someone like me that says, you know what, I'm sticking with my colors. I understand what people are saying. Most people don't understand my black, but it does have a meaning for me. And I know for the people that are connected with me, it has resonated with them. The white, the pink, and the gold, nobody had a problem with, but the black, they said I was too heavy on the black. If you come across a client like that, how can you coach them to maybe even change the color or work with that color and still get them to the place they're trying, the emotions and feelings they're trying to evoke? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, totally. That's a great question because oftentimes I work with people like that, right? Who struggle find like they want to be vibrant. Like I was working with one of my clients and she was like, I want to be vibrant, but I also want to pose as neutral because I'm not targeting men nor women. I'm just targeting busy like professionals. And I was like, okay, let's create a palette that resonates with you, but also claims that neutrality. And so we went with like a dark, like a LinkedIn blue with some yellows, a soft purple. And it really actually, when she started incorporating it in her business, it actually looked a lot more neutral because you have that white space, you have that corporation. So there's ways to do this in the sense that your pink, your gold, your white, your black, right? If you really resonate with that color, if that is your color palette, let's find a way to make it happen in your business. Let's figure out if that black seems too dark for you, or if there's a certain color that you're like, it hits, but I just need it to be a little bit brighter. I need it to be a little bit lighter. Then my favorite app is called Colors, but I spelled with, so it's COLOORS.com. And anyone can look up just colors.com. And it's a palette generator.
Okay.
So if you have some colors that you like, you can lock them in place and then switch around and see like a grand scheme of things of like a whole gradient of colors that you can play with that matches your tones. And I think that it's important to recognize when you feel so connected with a certain color palette, it's just how to make it more approachable to other people with just a little bit of flexibility. So for me, like coaching into someone and being like that is like, hey, I recognize that you really like these colors. Let's figure out a way that makes them look good online so that you can still feel that personalized element for yourself and people can feel that personalized element with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you're willing to work with them, even if they're kind of stubborn like me, to make sure they get what they need in their brand awareness and development phase. Now, content creation for social media, that has been the bane of my existence because when I first started, I was told I had to have the checkerboard, then I was told to do this, do that. And finally, I was just like, screw it all. I'm going to do what I want to do, and I don't care. However, I do know that there is a method to the madness. What can you tell us about content creation for social media?
I feel like it really depends on what your goals are, right? So if you want to grow and scale on social media, then you should be posting anywhere between 5 to 7 times a week. Anywhere between that. If you really want to grow and gain followers and be seen online, 5 to 7 times a week, and make sure that you're active on your stories all the time. Like if anything. But if your goals are a little bit different and you want to just develop that online presence and there's not too much pressure as to how fast you're growing, then like work with that anywhere between 2 to 5 posts. Like find a pace that works for you because the biggest thing is finding a love in it. It's finding a relationship in it because the thing is that you're not posting to post, you're posting to share. You're posting to expose people to your brand, to your message, to your beliefs, to what you want to help them with. So if that resonates with you, just posting 2 days a week, great. Then make sure those posts stand out. There's a lot of creators on TikTok who have, I forget his one name. There's this one guy who I'm thinking of, and he literally wears fake butt implants and runs around. It's really funny.
I don't think I've seen him, but now I'm
Yeah,
going to look. Who's the fake butt?
Yeah, right. He literally walks around with like guys pretending to be the security guard, but he was a big talk on TikTok because he grew pretty organically by just posting like once or twice a week, and if not that, like once a month. Like he knew that once he built his audience, he was there. Like, but you have to think about your goals and your mission and how fast maybe you want to get there, because if you want to grow on Instagram right now, it's super saturated. It's going to take some time. You may get lucky and have some things go viral, but there's no good way to gauge that because social media is always changing. I think LinkedIn and Facebook are really popular right now because they're really booming because engagement is low. And if you're trying to generate leads, start with LinkedIn. If you're able to do that B2B, even if it's B2B, B2C, think
Now, could you
about,
please, for those that may not know, explain what is B2B and B2C? We'd like to make sure
of
we break
course.
that down for our audience.
Yes. Okay. So B2B is business to business. So we're thinking about if your business is strictly like you're a marketing agency or like a person who owns a product and you're selling to other businesses who also like function as that. And then business to consumer. So B2C is I'm creating a product and a service directly for people who aren't entrepreneurs, who just want to buy a product, who are just, everyday average Joes sort of thing.
Okay.
So when we're thinking of like, we just have to know our audience, right? Who are we targeting? Who do we want to serve? Because if you think about a fitness entrepreneur, correct? Like that's business to consumer because the consumers are the ones who want to get fit. But if we're thinking about in the fitness industry still, like protein powder could be business to business or business to consumer. So it could depend. So that's all about what we do in like brand development, brand awareness, and overall like social media content kind of creation, because there's a strategy. It's like wanting to know your audience. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, everyone has a different, like even YouTube, like they all have different audiences, and there's a certain strategy to kind of post on all of them. But if we're thinking about in terms of like Gary Vee says, there's no reason we shouldn't be posting 42 times a day on each platform. Like sometimes like people do that, sometimes people don't. But again, really just depends on like your growth and where you want to go on social media.
So as a branding coach, when it comes to content creation on social media, are you, in addition to telling me how often once you know what my goal is, I should be posting, are you also creating the content for me, or am I still responsible for creating it myself?
So I like to do, I offer two different models. I can help you create some where it's like do it with you, or I like to like offer do it yourself, because I think that it's useful to know your strategy regardless of what you're doing, because we can hire a marketing agency and we can hire a social media person to completely control our social media, which is fantastic. It is great to hand off that work because it takes a lot of time. However, if we think about in case, like if anything else fails, what if you just have that natural strategy that you give to somebody, they execute it for you, and then if they leave, if they for some reason disappear, you know how to continue posting your content. That's the point that I want to get people to, because it's good to know, and I can post for you, and I can find your vision, I can find your dream, but it's also useful to really understand your own strategy so that in case those things happen, because sometimes they do in business, right? We can't expect always people to be 100% with us, which is fine. It's just life. But it's good to know what you're doing, why you're posting, who you're posting for, regardless of what you're doing.
Now, here's the one I really wanted you to spend some time on, is the offer statement clarity. When I go to somebody's social media page, I often get irritated. Let me tell you why. And I was irritated with my own self too when I was kind of all over the map. But there's nothing worse for me when I'm looking for something. Recently, I went to look for a realtor, and some of you have heard me say this before, so don't come for me. But I don't want to see you behind if I'm looking for real estate. So what is she offering? Is she offering real estate? Or same thing for the guys. I ain't trying to see you all naked. Are you offering real estate, or are you offering yourself? How important is it for them to get their offer statement clarified so that their social media actually, demonstrates or shows what your offer is, so clients know what your product or your service is?
Oh, it's incredibly important, right? Because we can go to a realtor's page, and if they're doing lifestyle content and they're a little bit more on that side of things, it's kind of like, okay, that's just not your person, right? Like that's just not your realtor. That's not the person you want to work with. But some people actually they like that. They're like, oh, you go to the gym too? You go outside, like you go do that. Like that's great. Some people like to show that. But if that person doesn't have any sort of like, I help, people in Texas find the right home for them, like, okay, that's great. You have a realtor's license number on your profile and you're just a realtor. Like this is just your personal page. Like So if we don't have any clarity on that, then of course nobody's going to want to come and follow you. But if we do have clarity, then people want to engage with us. And so having things like statements like I help or helping, or even just knowing exactly what your audience is, like I believe Jen's she's like, I help people get seen, right? Or I help people be seen. And that's because she has grown such a stage to where she can have such a broad offer because she knows already the audience that she's working with. But when we're thinking about lower level, we have to be really clear and specific about who we're helping. So even when we think about fitness is just easy for me to think of offhand, but when we think about finding the right trainer, right? If your offer is I help busy professionals lose 20 pounds and eat the food that they love, that sounds appealing. Like I know exactly what they're offering me. They're offering me to lose 20 pounds with them because I can still eat the food that I love, right? So if I think about that, then that's an offer statement that's intriguing. But creating that statement is what draws people in. And ultimately, sometimes it takes time. It doesn't always come first. It takes, even myself, I've had like 100 different renditions of my offer because it hasn't quite fit my audience, and finding the right audience takes time because it's all about shifting, being able to pivot, understanding that it's all a shift, and like understanding that just takes some time to really get there. But ultimately, having a clear offer statement with who you're helping, what you do, and like if there's a there's a timeline or some sort of numerical value to it, that often helps people. Like 20 pounds, 90 days, 30 days. Like if there's something like that you really do as a business owner, then emphasize that. But other than that, like if you just want to have a lifestyle page, do that. Make sure that you're a content creator. But if we're looking for realtors, be sure that you're a realtor and you say like, I help people in Texas find homes.
That's the thing. So that they're not know that I'm not hating on women that have beautiful bodies are out there, but I'm saying there was nothing on there for real estate. It was just all her rear end. On the other hand, there was a young lady who every time I turned around, she was in a bathing suit. But you know what? You also knew she was a realtor because she was in those bathing suits in front of houses she was selling with fabulous pools. So, you know, that's sales. And I understand that. But I was clear she was actually a realtor and she was selling houses. But sometimes you'll go to someone's page and they'll say they're doing A, but you don't even see A. You see B, C, D, and all their family. So that's what I'm saying, making sure that the message is there. So you help people. If you were to come to someone and they message maybe not be as tight, or even their message doesn't match, you can help them get clear on the messaging that they're putting out across their social media as a branding coach, correct?
Yeah, no, correct. Because I think, like you said, like there's nothing wrong with like posting whatever you want to on your page at all. It's kind of just if you want to have a personal page, totally do it, because I think personal and business pages are great. Because if you feel like the two should be separate, then have that. It's more so make sure that your offer, if you're posting things and if you're making sure that this is particularly a business page where people are going to go and follow you because of this particular service, make sure it's clear, make sure it's out there, make sure you're posting content to that target audience, because that ultimately that offer bleeds into the pillars, like anywhere between 3 to 5 pillars that you focus on for your content. And then your content kind of speaks to itself of like who you're helping, what you're doing, and then so on and so forth.
And now today, would you say it is true that people do want to see people's personal lives? They want to feel like they know the person, that part of that know, trust, and like. So you got to strike the balance of doing what you do and incorporate your stuff. But I know people don't come to me to see makeup tips because I don't even wear makeup, so that would be silly. But I'm just saying, finding that balance, and you can help people do that. Okay, so we've hit our 3 points, and I'm really excited about that. But I have the hot seat questions for you, Sam.
Oh, let's do it. I'm ready.
Okay. Now, this is how people can get to know you, which is not about branding necessarily, but it could be, depending on how you answer questions. Here's your first question. What are people usually surprised to know about you?
Oh, I would say that people are usually surprised to know that I'm 25.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
They don't think that you're that old or that young or that what?
They don't think I'm that young at all. They really like. I mean, I'm very much so like 25 and like a 45-year-old's body.
Okay, so you're an old soul. You're an old soul.
Very,
so not about
very old.
Definitely old soul. I would say that. Okay.
So
what is something you would like to do more of?
I want to travel more. Like, I really want to. I lived abroad and I lived in Paris, France.
Mhm.
So I enjoyed sitting and embracing a new culture for a period of time because I felt like it was so necessary. So I know that sounds like a cliche answer, but I want to embrace cultures. Like, I want to go meet people and do the thing in other places.
Okay. How would you like to be remembered?
Oh, that's a good question. I think my friends mostly already think of this of me. I would like to be remembered as the person who never gave up on something
Mhm.
because regardless of what anybody told me, I made things happen. Because, starting as a business owner,
Mhm.
doing the things that I have, and even studying abroad, traveling, doing everything that I have, people are always like, well, you said you were going to do it, and if I know you, you're going to make it happen. So definitely
Okay.
sticking to my word and making things happen.
Okay. What is one thing life is teaching you right now?
Oh, patience.
Okay, that's all that one, Sam. Woo, that's for sure. That's a good one. Okay, how about this? What is your favorite quote?
Oh, favorite quotes. I am a sucker for the Steve Jobs quote of you cannot connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect the dots looking I'm sorry, you cannot connect the dots looking backward, you can only connect the dots. Wait. Oh my god, I'm saying this wrong. I can't even get this right.
Okay, look, did you like me? I have my favorite quote. Do you have it? Read it.
Yeah, no, hold on. I was like, I wrote it down, but I wrote it down wrong. Like, oh my god. Like, let me see. This is ridiculous. Okay, you cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. That was the quote.
And you know what? That's one of my favorite ones too, because it truly has been over the past couple of years. I could have never connected the dots.
Yeah,
Never,
exactly.
ever. Okay. Final hot seat question, but I still have other questions for you. What are you
Mm-hmm.
grateful for?
Mm. This is gonna sound crazy. I am grateful for all of the hardships in my life. I am tremendously grateful for everything that I have been through that has shown me perseverance and strength because I would not be the woman right here, right now without any of that. So I am entirely grateful for all of the trials and tribulations that life has put me through.
Wow. Sam, I'm so glad you have been my first guest to kick off my season. And I know you're passionate about branding, but I wanted to know, how is what you currently do helping you live your best life now?
I get to help amazing people like business owners and entrepreneurs, and I get to have these cool conversations. And you know, as I said, most people would be surprised at my age, but that gives me an absolute benefit for the fact
Mhm.
that I get to look at people and be like, I'm a sponge. Like, let
Mhm.
me learn from you. I don't know everything. However, my experience has given me to be an authority in branding and marketing, but that doesn't mean I know everything. So I think talking with people and connecting with people has allowed me to be in that space because I wouldn't like I love talking to people and working with other people and individuals because not one person alike has the same perspective. So that's the most important thing to me is like learning from others and how I can change my own perspective or challenge or be challenged in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. That is amazing. And I was wondering if you could tell the audience, because I think I failed to ask you this, how do they get in touch with you? I put it I'm going to make sure I have it at the bottom of the show notes, but tell them your company's name and how they get in touch with you.
Yes, so my company's name is Polaris Creatives. You can go to polariscreatives.com. That showcases my brand as Sam the Branding Coach. And you can also find me on Instagram at Sam the Branding Coach. I'm starting a TikTok soon, YouTube soon. So all those things are coming, but those are the two main platforms that are best to find me.
And all of you that watch this on YouTube, inside the description notes, there is Sam's landing page, so you can sign up for her services. And there's also her website is listed as well. Sam, I want to thank you for being a guest and for kicking off this new season. I'm excited about all the things that you're doing, and I'm looking forward to you coming back and being part of the Soulutionist portal as a guest speaker for all the people within there. But it's just been amazing getting to know you outside of today. And I thank you for all you're doing. If you are an entrepreneur and you know that you need branding, it's Face It Friday. Face it, you don't have to do it alone. All you have to do is tap into Sam. And how do you tap in? Well, you start with the T. You transform your mindset and realize that, yes, it is possible for you to have a message that resonates with audience that will bring you in your dream client. Then you announce to the world that you're going to be working with Sam as your coach because she is the bomb.com and she's going to help you be seen in a positive way. And she's also going to bring you accountability as you're staying in the A spot. Then P, you're going to prepare by gathering all of your colors, information, and stuff. And guess what? If you don't have it, no worries, because she's going to show you how to develop it in your preparation phase. And then I want you to imagine what your social media, your branding could look like if you choose to work with Sam as your coach, because everybody needs someone that's an expert. She will help you cut out the middleman and get your branding on point. And then finally, the end, you're going to be able to nurture all of the stuff that Sam teaches you so that you can have a branding that says exactly what you wanted to say and evokes the emotions in your customers that you want them to feel. That's how you tap into Sam today. You go to her website at www.polariscreatives.com. That's Polaris Creatives. You don't want to miss out on this opportunity to work with Sam so that you can get a branding that resonates with the audience you want to reach. And Sam, you have anything else you want to share?
I forgot, for your listeners, I made them a special portal because I wanted to make sure that anyone who listened to your podcast, if they signed up on the link that I sent you as it was signup.polaris, they can get a free 20-minute brand audit with me. So no obligation, no charge. But all you have to do is sign up through the link that I gave Brenda, and all you do is fill out your information, and then I will go over your social media, your website, whatever you need to clarify your message. 20 minutes for free on me. We'll spend that time and we'll go from there.
Thank you for that. That link will be in the description on the YouTube channel. So you have to go over to YouTube to get that link. Make sure you do and check in and check Sam out. Sam, I want to thank you again for being here with me today. It was a good conversation. And remember, your branding matters always. For those who listen here or on the replay, the choices you make today will be the reality you live tomorrow. So choose wisely and choose to check Sam out because she's waiting to make your branding stand out. Be blessed, everyone. Thanks, Sam.